Getting your vocals to sound professional is frustrating. It's one of the hardest things to get right, but it's also one of the most important. If you've toiled over different vocal chains, tried every tutorial to get a better sound, and yet your voice still falls short of professional tracks, then you need to watch this video. And you might be asking, how exactly does he know what I'm feeling about producing great vocals? Well, it's because that used to be me. But after 10 years of turning knobs and pressing record, I've figured out exactly where I was going wrong. And the answers I've found are different than you might think. At least what I thought. In this video, I'll show you how to stop suffering through badly mixed, self-produced vocal tracks by revealing the 4 biggest secrets I've discovered for better sounding vocals. Then, I'll share the exact vocal chains I use on my own professional mixes. I've also included 10 free vocal presets from my preset pack, Vocal Magic 1, that you can download and start using on your tracks now. Link in the description. Let's get started. There are a ton of factors that go into the quality of a vocal track in your mix, but here's the most important 4: vocal performance, recording quality, proper EQ and compression, and nailing the other processing. Let's break down each one in a little more detail. Vocal performance. Vocal performance is an often overlooked part of the recording process. You might think that professional singers and rappers sound good because of auto-tune and processing, but really they sound good because of their passionate performances. Even if you're not singing on pitch, the passion of your performance will dictate the energy of the song and the way the vocal is received by an audience. A lackluster singing performance will still sound lackluster after 20 plugins. Get the passion right from the beginning and you'll be much better off. Next, we have recording quality. A passionate performance won't be worth a damn if you recorded on your mom's BlackBerry from 2006. You don't need the best mic to capture a quality recording, but you should put some thought into it. I made a whole other video on this topic that goes way more in depth than this video will. If you actually want to learn how to record properly, check it out up here. Also, if you're finding this content valuable, go get friendly with that like button and give that subscribe button some love. We make videos like this every week. Moving along to the next secret I found: proper EQ and compression. For those new to the production game, EQ and compression can be an intimidating subject, but they're important. They're the best tools you have for shaping the sound you record. EQ will carve out the unwanted frequencies and make your vocal shine. Compression will make sure every word can be heard at a decent volume. They're both vital for a professional vocal sound. And stay tuned till the end where I'll reveal my vocal chain settings and talk about these two more in depth. The last secret is to nail your other vocal processing. EQ and compression are important tools, but adding in other subtle effects like distortion, flangers, reverbs, and delays can take your vocal to the next level. But don't go overboard with these effects. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. Use them tastefully to enhance the sonic signature of your sound, not so much that it takes away from it. Now, using these techniques, I'll walk you through the process step by step in real life. Remember, if you want to follow along, you can download the 10 free vocal chains and presets that use only stock plugins in the description below. Often the first 2 secrets go together hand in hand. As I'm recording my voice, I'll make sure to keep a proper distance from the microphone, around 4 to 8 inches, use a high quality condenser mic, use a pop filter, and record in an acoustically treated room. That means there's acoustic panels on the walls to absorb the sound. Blankets will also work on the walls in a pinch. I'll record multiple takes until I find one that fits the passion and the energy of the song. I'll do that now. Then after recording a bunch of takes and I'm finding one that I'm happy with, I'm gonna hop into my DAW and start our processing. Now to start our processing, I'm gonna break down some basics about EQ and compression, then I'm gonna throw on one of my vocal presets and tweak it to make it sound good. Once I've got a take that sounds decent, I'm gonna hop in here, I'm gonna start with pitch correction. When it comes to pitch correction, the biggest thing that you have to worry about is the retune speed. The lower it is, the more auto-tune-like it will sound. She said something about it, I know she's been known to lie. Then after pitch correction, I like to throw on EQ. Comes to EQ, I like to focus on this lower mid-range with microphones. Oftentimes that's the muddiness that you hear in the microphones, and cutting it out is a good idea. So I'm gonna give a really subtle cut here. I'm gonna high pass this so that I get rid of all of this really low end, and then I'm gonna add a very subtle boost onto the top. Now the mic I recorded with is a very modern, bright sounding mic, so I don't need to do a lot when it comes to EQ, but with other microphones like the SM58, for example, you'll have to do more drastic moves than this. She said something about it, know she's been known to lie. And then we're gonna bring up the volume to where it needs to be with compression. We're gonna take the threshold down until we actually are getting some gain reduction. I'm looking between -5 and -10. I also like to use the Studio FET. She said something. We'll turn off the auto gain for now and we'll add it back in later. She said something about it. Let's add it back in. I know she's been known to lie. She said some back in my place. She said something about. Now our ratio is at 2:1, which is fine for this first compressor. We're gonna hit it harder with the second compressor by holding Option, clicking and dragging, and then adding this one below. We'll only need 2 compressors for this example, but that's a good way of duplicating the exact settings on one. We'll take this one and we'll put it up to 4:1. This one's gonna be a little bit heavier. We'll take the threshold down a little bit, take the makeup down. She said something about it. I know she's been known to lie. Because we're compressing it, we can take a little bit more of this mid-range out now that we're hearing because of that compressor. She said something about it. I know she's been known to lie. Compression is great for getting every word of the mix to come through. It's all about volume automation with compression. I also like using double compression because I find it sounds more natural than one compressor doing all the work. Now that we've got the EQ and the compression out of the way, let's add in my vocal preset pack and tweak some of the settings so that we can add in some other effects that I mentioned. To do so, we'll go into User Patches, Vocal Magic, Lead Vocals, and we'll click one that we think might work. But I know she's been known to lie. For these vocal preset packs, to make sure the compression is hitting the way it should, I have this loudness meter on the first slot. She says something about. I'm looking for it to peak around -18. So I'm actually gonna take this up a couple more decibels by going into the inspector region, then clicking up on the gain. She says something about it. We're still about there. I'll take it up a little bit more, and then I'll turn it down here, just so that it fits better in the mix. She says something about it. But I know she's been known to lie. We also want to make sure this pitch correction is hitting as well. Instead of using this Logic pitch correction, I'm going to switch it out for the Auto-Tune Pro that I used before. She says something about it, but I know she's been known to lie. Now all of our settings are pretty much dialed in and I didn't have to do much. And now some of the other effects that we might want to add, we can adjust this overdrive if we want some more distortion. She says something about it, but I know she's been. And we can adjust this one for the first ambiance type reverb sound, this one for the bigger reverb sound, and this one for the delay. See what I mean here? She says something about ambiance, reverb, I know she's been known to lie. And delay right here. She says I'm back in my place. For this vocal, I want it to be kind of dry. She's been known to lie. And a few tweaks, we've already added the other effects I was talking about, which is that 4th tip that I mentioned, nailing the other parts of the processing chain. We did reverb, ambiance, delay, and even added some overdrive. There's some other effects that we can get into, but that's better for another video, and I made a full video on some of the 10 best vocal effects that you can add right up here. Go and check it out. Let's listen to what our final product sounds like before and after processing. I'll A/B both of these sounds so you can get an idea. She said something about it, but I know she's been known to lie. She said some back in my place. She said I can make your day if you make up your mind. Really super easy, and we're already well on our way to a professional vocal sound. And after all of that processing, we've got a vocal track ready for the radio. You don't have to keep knocking your head over your amateur vocal sound. Getting these vocals sounding professional can be really easy. I recommend downloading those free presets I talked about and tweaking them so it fits your voice. They're already a great starting point. And if you're looking for another 50 vocal presets that you can use right now, go check out the pack that these vocal presets came from, Vocal Magic 1. If you like the taste of these free presets, you'll love all of the presets I've crafted so your voice can sound amazing. And if you like this video and liked learning about vocal processing, you're gonna love this video I made on an in-depth tutorial on how to process your vocals. You guessed it, right up here. See you in the next one.